So, a sensitive subject today, and we're going to talk about favoritism in the workplace. Does it exist? Yeah, it definitely exists. The I think anyone who's worked in any sort of organization knows that the best people don't necessarily get the promotions, and in fact, it's probably almost close to never that the most deserved person gets it. And this is why you find so many idiots in management who kind of make you scratch your head and think, how is this clown above me? How has this clown got given responsibility to look after a team? He's lazy, he doesn't do the work he does, he sucks. Well, the truth here is, whilst he might be shit at his job, he's very smart at working up the chain and getting comfy and cozy with the bosses. So a couple of years ago, there was a study done on over, I think it was 340 of the top young executives from Fortune 500 companies. Basically, the study asked them what they felt, the factors most responsible for their success. Now, take a guess what you think the number one factor they rated was. I can tell you it wasn't work ethic, it wasn't efficiency, how quick they do their job, and it wasn't that they're particularly exceptional performance or anything. The number one factor they listed more than anything was the ability to get on well with their boss, aka favoritism. Look, here's the truth, guys. You're going to have to deal with favoritism. You're going to see it on every turn of your, business life and probably elsewhere. So really at this stage, you've got two options. You can either whine and complain and just, say how it's unfair. I guess in the perfect world, it should be all done on merit. But the second thing you can do instead, is you can instead become one of the favorites and actually work your way up. And naturally, a lot of people dislike the idea of this. They see it as some sort of selling out, to try kind of favorite up with the boss. But here's the way I see it. If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. And it's likely the person who's naturally inclined to do that is probably going to be the kind of guy who causes mass headache for those below him. He does a shit job. And I guess if you want to look at it from a real personal level, you'll have to work under him. Here's what I say. Get into that position before he does. That way you can manage him and you can make sure everyone else gets the correct treatment. That I consider personally the height of self-responsibility. So today we'll look at 3, tricks or techniques, it doesn't matter, call it what you want to call it, of how you can actually achieve this and ensure that you get the position you deserve, and possibly more importantly, so that some idiot clown doesn't get into the position instead and ruin it for the rest of us. Okay, so tip number 1 is flattery. Now, I know that word sounds very ugly as well, because a lot of people be like, listen, most smart people don't fall for flattery. And I completely agree with you, because you're probably thinking about that flattery where you're like, oh, you're really cool in this sense. It's that ugly, sticky sort of flattery. I'm not talking about that. The flattery I'm talking about is a lot deeper. You see, the deepest flattery is actually when someone flatters you for who you are. So for the values and judgments which you hold. And this is made up of a hell of a lot of things. It's the movies which you like, the music you love, the way you see the world, your political views, etc., etc. But even if you push all of those aside, one of the most clearest ways which you can make someone really, really love you, if that's what your aim is you ask for their recommendation or judgment of any sort. It could be like a book. It could be like something which they go to have you say, try this. Now, if you actually go away, do what they say and come back and start that conversation off. And yes, you can start that conversation off. They will love that conversation. Guess what? First things first, they will be shocked that you actually did it. Think about how many times you've actually dealt with someone who's came to you and they're like, I've got this problem, blah, 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 blah. They whine about it. You give them advice. You know what they can do and they never do it. And then they're back complaining, right? It's one of the most frustrating things. On the flip side, barely no one ever kind of comes to us as, in some sort of problem or, needing some sort of recommendation. We give it them and then they actually do it. It's one of the most touching things to us. It makes us feel accepted from the core. And whoever does it without fail is going to get into our good books. Okay, tip number 2, smile. But now listen, I know this advice is beaten to death because, and I think then further beyond that as well, a lot of people know that smiling alone isn't good enough. You've also got to kind of smile genuinely. I think nobody likes that kind of like weird looking guy or girl who just smiles awkwardly like all the time. In a way, it's actually quite repulsive. Now, I'm not going to go into the nooks and crannies of the technicalities. There's a video by a guy called Charlie on his channel Charisma on Command. I will link the video in the description. Now, he does a brilliant job of breaking down all the micro details. There is, however, one thing which I want to add to this. And what I want to add here is the timing of the smile. It matters hugely. Even if you have a genuine smile, there is a right way to kind of present it. Okay, and there's a very distinct separation. I've got the wrong word there. But okay, imagine when you're talking and you say something which you believe warrants a smile. There's 2 ways you can smile. So you can start off saying the thing, finish saying the thing, and then smile. Or you can start saying the thing which warrants a smile, and as you're saying it, you develop this smile. And then even once you finish saying it, you keep the smile. Now, the first one, funnily enough, actually kind of makes it seem like there's an ulterior motive. So you say something smile-worthy, and then you smile. It's very strange. The right way to do this is, as you're speaking, look at someone in the eye, have that eye contact, feel what you're saying, let the smile come, and hold that smile whilst you hold eye contact with them. I think later on in a future video, I'll actually try to get you a video of something and actually have that shown to you, but I think a few of you will probably understand this straight off the bat. It's incredibly magnetic when it's done this, and it sucks people in. There's this, I don't know, it just smells of authenticity. People love it. Smell's actually a bad word. That's almost like a negative word. It comes off so authentic, so charismatic, so magnetic. And if you do that around your boss, along with listen to his advice and actually take it up, you are going to be irresistible, my friend. You're going to start getting into the good books. Okay, and finally, step number 3. Ask questions about the boss's life or career. There's one, okay, let's start off with this. People love themselves. Their favorite topic is themselves, and you included, and me included as well. So if untrained, our natural tendency is to talk a shit lot. Even if someone asks you a question, you will just keep chatting on if left to your own devices. Well, guess what? Your boss is the exact same way. However, because we love talking about ourselves, anyone who we feel genuinely cares about listening about us, we can't help it. It's human nature to automatically begin to like them and like them strongly. Now, again, authenticity comes into this. So you can't just kind of like go to the boss and say, tell me stuff and just keep writing off question after question after question. It will seem inauthentic. But here's one question which works every single time for every single person. Doesn't matter if they love their job or they hate their job. Ask them this. Well, tell me, listen, out of interest, how did you get into whatever you're doing? So I don't know, how did you end up actually in the mining industry? Or what actually made you decide to become an investment banker? Something like this. Do you see, like, you can almost sense like I'm interested. And that's all you have to do. It's one question which will always open someone up. They'll always have a story behind it, and they will love you for asking. Okay, so there you go. That's the end of the video. I guess, I made this because I think a lot of people feel sort of helpless, like they can't play the game. They think they need to kind of resort to some dirty tactics. Well, listen, dirty tactics are better than no tactics, and that's why a lot of these kind of like, crappy guys who shouldn't be in these positions end up in these positions. But you can play a far smarter game. A lot of people believe, just being one of the lads, talking about football and, crappy subjects like they do to connect with the boss is going to work better than this. Hell no, man. This one connects on the deepest level possible. You do this consistently, you do this with authenticity, you'll blast the competition. Guys, and that's the video all wrapped up and finished. Now listen, if you like this video, click the subscribe button and you'll get access. Well, you're just basically here when the new videos come out as soon as they come out, and you support me big time. The second, if you like the video, man, please like and comment on it. A lot of time and effort goes into making these, and I don't really get paid. I don't even bother monetizing this crap because I don't really care about, I hate ads, so I'm not going to put it on other people. But the likes and comments, they mean the absolute world to me, man. I love reading them. I like seeing that people like them. So if you liked it, please go ahead and do it. And finally, if you want to kind of see more of this content, I have a blog which I absolutely love. I pour my heart into. And there's a newsletter where I keep kind of typing my little emails with my little kind of, whatever I find interesting. You can go over to moneysexcharisma.com/subscribe. Put in your name, put in your email. There'll be absolutely no junk. I don't give your email to anyone. I don't do any of that shit. And you can sign up to my newsletter, man. Really appreciate it, guys. And I'll see you on the next video. See ya.